Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Degenerate Hour. Today I'm joined once again by my co host, Plague and TJ.
Yo,
Before we start out this episode, we're going to make a. Sorry, TJ, do you want to say hi?
No, moment passed.
he's
Oh,
not.
that's too bad. Uh, Before we start this episode, I want to give a quick shout out for the 2 for 1 special. This is a podcast that Plague and I have listened to recently, where two brothers go outside the box when it comes down to talking video games and anime. Not only will they have you thinking, but you can also enjoy some funny moments and some chill ones. Be sure to check them out weekly for new episodes. So this episode, we're going to talk about the new seasonal anime. Now that a decent amount have come out, we've seen a decent amount of episodes, we think we might have a good grasp on what might be good and what might be dog shit. Um, we're just going to be talking about animes that we've seen. We're not going to go anything too crazy. We only have a small list here, so we'll go ahead and get right into it. What do you guys want to talk about first?
My hero. Get it
All
out of the
right,
way.
we're talking with My Hero right out of the bat. Okay. So My Hero is My Hero like it normally is. We had an entire episode kind of where we roasted the shit out of it. But this season seems to be a little bit different to me. It seems like they're finally starting to realize, like, they can't keep doing the same shit. Maybe we can actually get some character development with that. And the reason why I think that is because of what happened after like the first battle of this new tournament arc they're doing, where they got the shit roasted out of them by by their
Everybody.
teacher. Yeah, and so I think people are finally starting to realize that they shouldn't be too naive anymore, especially if they're going into this line of work. That's what I'm hoping for. But historically speaking, My Hero Academia does not do anything when it comes to character development at all. So that's my only gripe about it.
I will say something nice. I'm enjoying how creative some of these fights can get, specifically with oh man, is his name Shinzo? I can't remember his name. The one with the brain control. I really like what they're doing with his character. How he's got a quirk that is it's decent, by itself, but then they're giving him all these tools to make him a more well-rounded hero, and then also giving him an opportunity to actually become a hero. I like what they're doing with him. I like what they're doing with a bunch of these other characters and their development, like the newest episode that we watched today, actually, with the weird little edgy shadow kid who can hop in and out of shadows. His quirk is really strong. Um, which is cool. Some of these fights are getting better slowly. I think my biggest gripe with the new season is the pacing. Everything just feels like a fucking drag. Like these fights that realistically speaking don't matter too much are just taking up so much time. Like 2 episodes for an entire fucking little battle seems like much. It seems like we're not getting anywhere fast right now. I think that's my biggest gripe with it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I, yeah, I think they're going in the right direction, but they still have the problems that I saw that My Hero's been having for years. Like the fights, although long fights aren't necessarily bad, because even a lot of shonen to this day that I know fall victim to it, like Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen sometimes have fights that last like 2, 3 episodes, but like they have development in those fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
I feel like the difference between the Juju fights and My Hero fights is like I can't think of a bad Juju fight, but I can think of a few bad My Hero fights. I feel like the quality was better for Juju, which makes the longer lasting ones like the fight with the plant um thing, the plant spirit Hanami or whatever its name was.
Yeah.
I feel like even though that one took over like 3 or so episodes, and was pretty dragged out, which was aggravating watching it on a weekly basis because it we didn't get to see all of it like all together.
Yeah. Fair.
Um, but it was still a really good fight, and there was a lot of meaning behind it too. And the quality was just amazing. But some of the My Hero fights, like even the one before the last before this last episode, uh, all the fights that we've seen so far were kind of lame. I mean, we saw a Beast Boy roid out. We saw a girl with her plant hair do nothing. Um, we saw someone throw people in air bubbles, and that's pretty much it. The first little tournament was boring as hell. This one's getting interesting because we're seeing people use their quirks in different ways, and I like that. But the quality isn't there all the time. Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know. When I'm thinking about my hero fights, it's not even about the fights. It's just the fact that there's no reason to care for any of these characters still. You know, like we've been watching the show for what is this, a fourth, fifth season, right?
Fifth season
Yeah, it's the fifth season, and I can't tell you a single reason on why I should care for like Uraka.
or Red Riot
Yeah, Red
or
Riot.
even Bakugo, to be honest.
Yeah, the only reason why I like Bakugo is because he's the only ounce of like his character changes, like his power changes. I fuck with that. That's cool. I like seeing just like shit diversify when it comes to
Somebody
like
get quirky and creative.
exact. Yo, they call them quirks off of the root of quirky, yet none of them are actually being quirky with their powers, and that's the most frustrating part because it's a wasted opportunity. And it's like, for example, like Midoriya, for example. You know, Midoriya is fucking. He has one of the strongest quirks, if not the strongest quirk ever, and you're telling me he's been doing the same shit
Kick,
forever?
punch.
Kick, punch, flick. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
All right. Well, I think we've spent probably enough time complaining about me here. Let's go ahead and go on to the. Oh wait, we should probably rate this season. Really slow so far. Um,
There's a lot of good stuff though. At first it seemed kind of dry, but now that everything's kind of
yeah.
out, everything that's coming out this season, it's pretty good.
In my hero terms, I'd probably say it's about, maybe like a 7.
You, my hero's a 7
Like
out
in
of
my
10.
in my hero terms, it's a 7 out of 10 season. Overall, if I had to rate it, I don't look forward to it at all. I'd probably give it like a 5, 6.
I
But
mean,
I
we
think,
literally we watch it first to get it out of the way usually.
yeah. Like as soon as once we got in the call, I'm like, hey, can we just get this out of the way? I don't want to deal with it.
Did you want to do that thing that one guy suggested where we like talk about? I don't know if you want to do it for My Hero because I feel like everyone knows what
I'm
My
sure
Hero is, but
everybody
like
knows what my hero is.
yeah,
But yeah, for all the other ones though,
do it for
we could definitely introduce it. We'll probably do it right before we start. But all right, so let's go to the next one. Let's see here, we got. Do you guys want to talk about the Tokyo Revengers anime? We
you
just got.
y'all could do one of the ones that y'all are watching together.
Sure.
Um, Megalobox.
Megalobox, okay, yeah. Season 2 of Megalobox, absolutely amazing. Picks up.
Already better than the first season, but that doesn't mean the first season's any bad.
Okay, yeah. So for anybody who hasn't seen Megalobox before, it's like an older style animated boxing anime. It's completely original, so there's no source material, and it's really well done. I mean, the first season was phenomenal, and the second season has already topped the first season by a long shot. Like, it's definitely taking a new character development route in terms of like, we're following Joe as he confronts his past and goes through all this hardship that he's put himself through ever since the events of the end of the season 1 took place. And it's an amazing journey so far. We've met a lot of people that have been great characters through and through. We've seen a lot of development, especially through Joe. Like, just in the first 4 episodes, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, the definitely like I'd say my favorite part, 100% about Megalobox season 2, is like I think it fixes the problem that I had with the first season, where sometimes you'll have moments where you'll just be like, "What? Why?" Like, uh, there's a spoiler warning, of course, but in the first season of Megalobox, um, I'm horrible with names. Coach Nabu,
Number, yeah.
yeah, Nambu, his eye. he has to rip out his eye for the sake of Joe, right? And there's a whole mafia arc or whatever, and it just kind of felt unnecessary because like you think, oh, boxing, you make a fuck ton of money from boxing, right? I brought this up with Siri. You make a fuck ton of money with boxing,
Hmm.
yet for some reason they don't have the money to pay off the debts. You know?
Yeah, that was definitely one plot hole that I had with the series in general. Was like, I mean, this was the absolute biggest megaloboxing event ever, and with Joe literally going up to the top, it is absolutely like it just dumbfounds me that their money problem wasn't taken care of. It seemed like an unnecessary plot twist that didn't really make sense to begin with and probably shouldn't have
Yeah,
happened.
it's like you're telling me that they were millions of dollars in debt. No, I highly doubt it.
Yeah,
And if
but
they were, oh
yeah,
well.
but I mean, other than that though, I mean,
Oh well.
everything else has been a perfect story so far. Like it tells
Yeah,
everything. It gives you the emotion. It gives you the character development. It gives you the fight scenes. It shows.
I will admit, season two doesn't have as much fighting. Funny enough.
That's true. Well, season two is very emotional in comparison to the
Yeah,
first one.
season two doesn't have as much fighting, but you definitely see more Joe,
Hmm.
and it's you see more Joe traveling, being the nomad, and him doing his thing after the season ends. And yeah, honestly, to be honest, Megalobox, like I'm gonna be honest, if I'm gonna rank like what anime I guess is like my favorite this season, 100% Megalobox would be in top three without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree.
I might actually have to watch this show.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's a great show. My rating for it, out of all the other animes, I think it's probably one of the best. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
yeah, 9.5 out of 10,
Yeah,
definitely. Like, it's super. I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 because it's not done,
yeah.
but I am 100% willing to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
I always thought that I would rate Megalobox as a 9 out of 10 just based off the first season, and the second season is much better than that.
Hmm.
I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I'm sure it'll definitely become a 10 out of 10 anime. It's probably going to be one. I don't think it's going to be like a genre defining one because it doesn't seem to be as hype as it should be by a long shot. It never was, but I think it's definitely going to be a new defining anime. Um, so let's go ahead and talk about Tokyo Revengers now. Um,
You know, I'm actually kind of enjoying it where it's going. I feel like it's interesting. I mean I meme on it because it does it does basically feel like erased but delinquents instead.
yeah, it
You
does.
know, it's not like a terrible show. It's definitely not the best of the season. Not something I would seriously rave about. But it's an enjoyable watch. I'm enjoying the time spent watching it.
It is a so for anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's a weird time traveling anime. The main character goes back in time to save um his ex. Really, I mean his middle school ex. It sounds weird. The story sounds weird. It's a good show. It's pretty solid. It's not amazing so far from what we've seen, but it's not bad. I probably DJ. Do you have any words on that?
Um, to be honest, when it comes to Tokyo Revengers, I actually didn't start liking the show till episode three. The
Yeah.
first, I even talked about it when we were saying I might drop the show after episode two.
Hmm.
Like after I watched episode two, because the first one it was kind of like, it's like we've seen time travel shit done before, and it looked pretty bland.
Yeah, it's definitely nothing special.
Yeah, and then episode two came, and then I was like, I still don't care about anyone here. It's like I don't care about the motivations, like the reason for the like the girl. I don't care for her. It kind of like they're like, oh, look, a cutesy dinky girl. That's our motivation. It's kind of like nah, I don't really care. But then episode three came, and then this is when you start actually giving a shit about these characters because you meet spoiler, you meet the gang guys, and then you actually have good development and chemistry between the homeboys, which I think that's really good. Overall, just character relationships 100% just get
It's like all the
better.
development was in fucking episode 3. Everything else before that was just meh.
Yeah, it definitely did have a rocky start. I wasn't sure where it was going to go, but it seems to have at least become a solid anime at the very least.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll
and
obviously have to see.
I'm glad they give me a reason to care about the girl, besides the fact that she's just, oh, I protect you, and I'm sparkles and sunshine and shit like that. Now I kind of understand why we care about her, because she's actually a good person to him, and
Hmm.
it makes sense. But like, I'm curious to see where it goes. But I'm gonna be honest, if episode 3 didn't come, I don't know if I would have stayed. So it's still rocky for me. I'd say the show, for now, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
That's a fair thing. Um, why don't we talk about To Your Eternity next? I have some opinions on the show. It's do you want to give a description, Siri?
My favorite voice actor plays God.
Yes, that series is
Should
set for
I
God.
should I go into more? I guess I can. I guess I can.
I'll I'll do it.
Okay, yeah,
So To Your Eternity is it's pretty hard to describe actually. So God casts
yeah.
down a thing to Earth, and this thing is its entire purpose is to live through all the experiences and all the simulation of living among other living beings on Earth. So it starts off as a rock, and then a wolf dies on it. Then it starts as a wolf again. Then later on, it goes to the wolf's, I guess, if you want to call him owner. And then the owner dies and he becomes a boy. So his whole journey is to experience all the, I assume, the joys of life. I'm assuming that's what the initial purpose is. I'm not quite sure. We haven't really
Well, God
gotten
seems
to
to
that
say that
history
it's
yet.
based off of sensation. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest. I,
yeah,
I, I can definitely feel it.
yeah. I don't know about Joy though, because all this homie's done so far is die
I
over and
mean,
over and over again.
yeah, I feel like this show is going to get a lot more like emotionally investable and invest. Oh, that's not a word. That is not a word at all. I think it's going to be emotionally traumatizing. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love these animes. These are
Or
great.
when the thing, whatever, we're gonna call it, foo, that's what the little girl called it, foo.
Ooh,
Whenever foo starts to experience like all the pain, like the actual like emotional trauma of life, that's when the show's gonna get interesting. I really like what they did this episode though, the more recent episode where he can freely change between the things that it's been prior to what it is now.
can't
I,
wait
I
for him to
didn't
flex
expect
on
that. I
somebody and turn into a
Yeah.
rock.
He's gonna be hiding from somebody and just turn into a pebble, bro.
I think it's going to
Ugh.
be a great anime. I genuinely can't wait for each episode that comes out. It's not exciting by any means. Like, it's not the most amazing anime out there, but I think it's definitely going to be something that pulls at your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna be
What do you
real.
think, CJ?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of indifferent about this show. Believe it or
Hmm.
not, I think the show's good. Animation's really well done, but at the same time, I don't see a plot yet. And
That's true. That's true.
the like it could be Journey to Elaine type shit where there's no plot and we're just rolling and see where this homie goes. But right now we're on our third episode. By the time you get to the third episode, they usually like there's some goal in mind. But right now it seems like we're just aimlessly walking. But again, I guess 3 episodes is not enough for a show like this.
I think this anime is going to be a lot like Violet Evergarden, where it's
Yeah,
just you're
hundred
there for the
percent.
experience, you know?
Yeah, it's more like because like Violet Evergarden and Journey to Elaine are very similar, where we pretty much we walk around aimlessly or we do some task or whatever. With Journey to Elaine, we just witch around everywhere, and then Violet Evergarden, we're just a typewriter. But here, I think we're just doing the same shit. Where there's no like true evil. We're just walking around to see what the world is. And if they want to do that, that's fine. But the reason on why those shows were Journey to Elaine and Violet Evergarden were so good is because the main character was very likable. And Elaine was a very likable witch character. She was a bitch, and it was funny.
Relatable. No, she
Yeah,
wasn't a bitch. She was realistic.
no, yeah, true. She was very
I would
realistic.
react exactly how she did in almost every situation. It's not my problem.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
and then Violet Evergarden, she was, a war hero pretty much, pretty like fucking metal character, and those characters are interesting. But here, yeah, it's God quote, but the main character, let's be honest, he hasn't said a single word besides thank you, and
He said it
uh,
as a dog.
as a dog, and it's I don't know when I watch the third or when I watch the third episode, it's like these stories are good, but the only reason why they're good is because we have a good protagonist to kind of help us out, and the protagonist of this show isn't interesting. It's I feel like I'm watching a vegetable roll around everywhere. Yeah, that's just my take on it. I mean, it's a good show, but like I don't know. I think other shows kind of did what it did better.
Well, I think you might be perceiving the show wrong, in my opinion. So I don't think it's trying to be like Violet Evergarden or Journey to Elaine, and I do like both of those shows actually. I think it's one of those shows that's slow to develop. So we're in the phase right now where it's just experiencing like the base forms of life, like survival,
True.
eating,
Yeah.
everything. He hasn't really, or it. I don't even know what to call this thing. Um, hasn't really had the time to form any like real bonds yet. Besides it coming to the defense of a fucking toddler that fed him pears in the forest, it hasn't really had the
That's
chance to do anything
yeah.
yet. So
That's true, but
it just kind of
I'm
goes
not,
back to your point though, like for shows like this one, it definitely isn't gonna get the 3 episode treatment because you can't judge this show just off of 3 episodes alone.
well then I also have to consider is this show 24 episodes? Because if it's a 12 episode show, I'm worried. But if it's 24, take all the time you need. You know,
This just might be like one of those snowball shows, dude. It might be like super
maybe
slow to start, and as soon as shit gets rolling, it doesn't stop. You never know.
that's true. Yeah.
You just gotta wait and see with this one.
Yeah, so far I've been impressed with a lot of the things they're doing. I think it's going to be a unique and interesting perspective coming in with a character who has literally no experience in the world. I think that's something that only this show can give us because it's only this show where we get an actual character who we see every single one of their experiences. They share it with us. I think that's pretty unique. I would honestly give the show probably 8 maybe personally. I mean that's just like I said for this season. I'm not ranking overall. Maybe we should have did like a number system.
6.
6. Ah, yeah, that's fair.
I'm giving it a 6.
Like,
I'd say 7 to be honest. I'm in the middle there. Um, just because we haven't seen a lot yet, but what we have seen so far, I'm liking what we have seen, and I want to see what this character experiences. So I'm gonna give it a 7 so far. Where
well,
it goes from there is all dependent on what comes out.
since we're on the topic of God and my favorite voice actor, I think it is
Oh
probably a
boy,
safe time to introduce the
I
way
knew
of the
this was
house
coming.
husband.
3.
Really?
I'm all right. Let me justify my reasoning.
Whoa, wait. Let me introduce the
Oh
anime.
yeah, introduce it.
10 out of 10 anime, 100%. It's about an ex Yakuza member mastering the way of becoming a house husband. It's a very comedic anime. It has a very interesting animation style, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, I know it's been getting a lot of shit for it. I don't mind it personally. I think it's interesting. The best way I can describe it is probably a animated manga. Yep, that's all I got. It's a great show. I think it's funny.
Look, I think the jokes it would be fine and everything. And look, I'm used to bad animation. I'm watching, or I watched Afurueta,
We
and
don't talk about Afro TJ.
and I've seen a lot of shows with just horrible CGI or horrible animation where it's just still frames during a fight scene. It I've seen bad animation, and then I've seen lazy animation. And my problem is, if their whole point, I guess, whole idea of doing this is to be as true to the manga as possible, that's fine. But like at the same time, it's like, man, it's
He said, "Man,
yeah, man, it's to me, it's just it doesn't hit. It's this show right now. I'm not dropping it because the jokes are funny and it's a good like haha he he on like a Thursday afternoon or whenever I'm just like bored and I want to watch something on Netflix. But to compare it to the other comedy and just anime this season or at any shit that I watched in the past year, man, was it the wrong move to give me a PowerPoint presentation for my was it spring? My spring
Yeah.
season.
This is spring season.
Look, the voice
No,
actor's great,
yeah. I think it's
but
definitely the voice actors that are keeping the show alive.
oh yeah, if the voice actors were bad, holy shit, I would have dropped the show the first episode. No, not even kidding.
see, I'm kind of with TJ on this one because I really I like the goofy aspect to it. I really do like comedy animes, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed with the animation style.
Oh no,
Uh,
no,
uh,
I get
you
it.
know, and it's still enjoyable though. If you like super quick like funny shit to watch, this is like the perfect show for you. It's literally just an ex gang member going through the daily lives of being a normal house husband. It's goofy. It's great. It's just like you know it's the animation style that really killed most of the hype for me, but it's still enjoyable.
I can appreciate the animation style. I just don't think this was. Um, I just don't ever see it being as good as any other animation style. Like
Yeah.
it is interesting to see it, but I also have reserves about it. I feel like it is a little lazy. Um, I think Netflix dropped the ball on the animation, but they did really well with the voice acting cast, so I'll give them that. If I had to actually rate it, I think I'd probably rate it a 7, just exclusively because of the animation.
Yeah, that's fair.
I stand by my number.
3.
Bro, that's 3 points for the voice acting. 7 points negated because I don't consider this an anime.
Fair enough.
That is
I feel
fair.
like I feel like I'd get the same like feeling for the show if you showed me just random screenshots of the show. I don't know. Or if I feel actually, it sucks to say, but I feel like I'd get a lot more enjoyment if I actually just read the manga.
I do feel like that too. Whenever I'm looking at it, sometimes I'll be like, man, this is. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but like, I could just read the manga and get basically the same,
You don't get the sexy
feeling.
voice acting.
And
I'll
that's what
just
saves
have
the
it
show
in.
for me.
I'll just have it in the background.
That's what saves the show for me. Have that
Yeah,
you're reading the same chapter as it plays in the background.
exactly.
Man.
That's rough.
All right.
Thank God for God.
All right. So we'll move on to the next one here. We should probably talk about our most hated anime of the season. Not
What would
because
that
of
be?
it's bad, but because it's weird.
What would that be?
Um,
Oh my, is it Nagatoro?
it's Nagatoro, yeah. The
All
That's
busting
right,
the
of the
real,
balls.
real, real talk. This is
best
the
show of the
best
season, in my
comedy.
opinion.
Yeah, this is the best comedy this season. I
This is
literally,
this is the Love Is War of the season.
yeah, 100%. All right, so I'll tell you, like I'm gonna tell you what Nagatoro's about. All right, imagine Uzaki or imagine Tagagi. Imagine any of those shows, except
Forehead.
well, me and Blake were talking about this. Takagi was like in middle school. Uzaki was in college. So,
It's
the
the
college.
unholy trinity of teas, bro. The
Yeah.
tea.
So college was all about like she was a bit. It was a lighthearted like shit, but she was kind of like truly mean at sometimes. Takagi was like super wholesome pranks or whatever. But this is about high school bullying. There's no bullshit in high school. So what happens is Nagatoro, this crazy fucking bitch. She's crazy. Like there's no other way to describe it. She's insane. And she bullies the everlasting crap out of this poor kid who has probably the most anxiety out of any of those pro tags in any of the shows I listed. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it is the funniest shit I have seen this entire season. I love Nagatoro right now. Like this show is amazing. There's no question, not even a fucking question about it. Nagatoro is amazing. Literal
It's
my
hard to
ten.
watch. It's so
It,
hard to watch because it's
it's
so
my
sad.
yeah. It's my 10 out of 10 this season, or one of my 10 out of 10s this season. It
So,
is so fucking funny.
She
if
won't leave
if
him
anybody
alone.
hasn't watched any of the animes he just referenced, this is the kind of show that you want if you like girls stepping on your balls.
No, 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 no. Hold up, hold up. As
Yeah,
somebody who experienced all of these beautiful shows with TJ in every single aspect,
this is the raid
um,
boss.
this is the raid boss of the fucking of the subclass, the subgenre. Sorry.
The teasing
this is
subgenre where you just
this
it's
is
just
the final. This is in game subgenre for the teasing.
just poor
It's
dudes getting bullied by their childhood crush. Sometimes they're
except for like
Korean and not childhood.
for Takagi, or Forehead as everyone lovingly calls her. Um, for Forehead, it's like she's just teasing him, doing stupid stuff. He tries to tease her back, and she's like, "Aha, I'm smarter than you, lol." It's like that. Uzaki just picks on the Chad just because she's short. Short people are mean. Um, yeah, and then there's this bitch Nagatoro. The audacity of this bitch to pick on the quiet, fucking anxious art kid. There's rules in high school, man. You don't pick on the art kid. You let them do their thing. You leave them alone.
Nah, high school's
She just goes
ruthless.
for it. She's ruthless, bro. She's so ruthless, and then she's defensive about it too. She's like, "No, I can bully him. You other hoes, go away."
I know it's amazing. I love this show so much.
It's so great. It's so hard to watch, but it's so great.
I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it.
10 out of 10.
Literal 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I
There's
enjoyed.
no faults.
If you're not watching the show, what are you doing with your life? It's a 10
Fuck.
out of
If there's one show you can watch this season, fuck Megalobox, fuck
Oh,
Tokyo Revengers,
dare
fuck
you!
the Eternity, fuck everything, bro. If you're gonna watch any show this season,
watch this.
watch Nagatoro,
This motherfucker flopped on his favorite anime of the season in 32 minutes.
cause it's Nagatoro.
It's always been Nagatoro, TJ. You
That's
and me
always-
knew what we were walking into.
Yeah, I knew this show was gonna be a banger.
It is a good show. Yeah, I'll admit it's a good show. All right,
No, you didn't
so
get it. That's a disgrace.
let's so we
Trikes.
got Don't Toy With Me out of the way. We got Tokyo Revengers out of the way. 86.
That's you and
Alright.
TJ.
It's alright.
It's a good anime.
You watch Darling in the Franks? Alright,
No.
you've seen this show.
Yeah, this is
And,
this is like Darling in the Franks without 02 and a
Oh,
little bit
so
more
it's
brutal, in my opinion, and it's also not as cringy. So
Yeah.
there's that.
This is it's good. It's fine. I don't have much. There's nothing crazy about the show. It's not a show that I'm gonna be like, yo, you guys have to watch. Nah, it's as average as which like mecha shows I guess come. I mean that the fights are pretty cool and the character banter is pretty nice, but aside from that, yeah, it's I don't know. It's fine.
Now I'll be honest, the character banter it is really good. Like you don't get a lot
Yeah.
of banter like this in like animes, especially recently. It is like genuine banter between people and like with their current situation and stuff, which is hell. I mean, oh yeah. By the way, for anybody who hasn't seen it, there's it's basically shit.
He forgot.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to explain it without using the word Nazi, but I don't think I can. So basically, it's if the Nazis won, and then everybody else, like everybody else that wasn't the Germans, just got put into like military enslavement, and they're literally treated like shit.
Fucking Nazis!
It is the best way I could possibly put it. Like it is
Yeah.
just really, really bad. You got this. You got what people claim to be the superior race, and then you got the 86, and the 86 is what the story revolves around. With their commanding officer and the Nazi regime, who isn't a bad person, but still Nazi. So let's move on to the next one.
So, just to switch things up, to talk about a show that me and TJ are watching. TJ, let's talk about Welcome to Demon School, Irma Kun.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I agree.
It's funny.
This new season is already great. It's
Facts.
perfect.
Yeah.
We have a talking ring that is a Chad. What more could you want?
It's literally immediately after the first season, where I feel like the first season hasn't ended, which is good for a show like this because it just keeps on going as being just a good show. It's a fun show. A human going to hell because his parents sold him to the devil. It's like, it's amazing. It's so funny, and he has to pretend he's a demon and shit like that. It's great.
The best part is the kid's like the most wholesome little shit.
Facts.
He don't do nothing wrong. He's never gonna do nothing wrong.
Good old green bean.
He ain't gonna hurt nobody. He's a little angel. Also, his blood cures demons like from anything. It's weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Good to know.
we're still waiting on the opposite version of him that we saw in the little thumbnail for the season, but we ain't got it yet.
So wholesome, he cures demons.
Yeah. And then he thinks about eating them every morning for school.
All right. Should we talk about Higehiro? So for anybody curious, the full title is Higehiro After Being Rejected, I Shaved and Took on a High School Runaway. So far, it's pretty good. Main character, absolute Chad. Does not want anything to do with the person who is living in his apartment, which is great because she is like beyond horny
and underage.
Underage, yes.
Part, sir.
Yeah,
the part where she's a fucking child.
Yeah, he's like 10 years older than her, but it seems super wholesome. I really hope it doesn't do a 180. If he does a 180, can we drop the show if he does a 180?
Yes, no. CJ, you're on your own again. Just like for my daughter, I'll slay a demon lord. You will be swimming on your own again. Is that what you want?
No.
So just for those of you who don't know, this is a cautionary warning for my daughter. I would slay a demon lord. A kid or a little demon kid gets found by what I can only assume is the hero of the universe in the forest after her house had been like raided or whatever the hell happened. I didn't finish it. Anyway, he quote unquote adopts her and is obsessed with her in a really creepy way. At first you think, okay, it's a little wholesome. Then he just gets really weird with it, and then come to find out that he marries her in the manga when she grows up because she ages at like a super high rate for a demon. Creepy, really weird. Same thing for this one. If he does that again, I will drop it. No hesitation. So stay away from for my daughter. I would slay Demon Lord. Keep your eye on this one because you might have to abandon it at some point.
I hope not. They've really ran through the fatherly figure on this main character,
and he's got the mommy at work. The big baddie, bro, who goes out and drinks with him and eats bro. She's perfect, happy family. TJ disagrees just because she didn't want to tell him that she had a thing for him. No,
she's a liar.
Here's why you're wrong. All right. Not only is she his boss, so she can give him a raise, she also takes him out for barbecue and beer, and she's funny. She's witty.
But she's such a liar. She
good
She
thing.
lied 3 times.
I don't think you're under TJ. She's very convincing. She's got 2 very convincing
Nah.
items.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
2 very big convincing arguments. Now, TJ, I want you to
Got
take
my
a
boy
very
dirty.
good look at what the podcast is named.
I
Take
know
a-
what it's named, but I want to be
You're not
real.
very. You're not representing.
There's
Me.
options. There's options
She's
for characters.
yeah, and the options all kind of suck. The
Well,
options are the blonde girl who messes up at work.
He's a Chad,
and
though.
she's a Chad, but she's kind of ditzy. And then the other option is a 16-year-old girl.
that was never
I
an
think
option.
word, because anime has a history. TJ, do you want to know what the history is? It's scary. It's very scary. That's what it is.
So you know the good anime. It's a great anime so far.
I'm we had a surprising amount to say about it.
I am honestly also impressed with the amount of time that we spent on it. I thought it was going to be a simple, one and done. Dude's a Chad, 10 out of 10.
Watch it because it's wholesome. Be wary. That's all I'll say about it.
We're very cautious because of anime. We've been done dirty by anime many times.
8 out of 10. That bitch ruined the show for me.
And you're just jelly. You're jelly of her convincingness. You're just so upset that you
I'm
can't be
interested
that
in it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 as well for the season. It's pretty solid. I was thinking this season was gonna be garbage.
Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of garbage this season.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, there's a lot of garbage every season. Let's be honest here.
I know, but we remember. I think this was this season. There was a show that was coming out. I'm going on to the next show. You guys are done with whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Next on this list that I have would be the Snow White Notes.
Alright, but before you get to Snow White Notes, I'm gonna talk about a show that we dropped on episode 1.
The snow thing.
No. We watched 2 episodes of it. Oh, wait.
3.
What would that be?
Haven't we watched 3 episodes? Are you talking about the snow show with 2 years?
Door and Snow and Blood or whatever.
Oh yeah. So let me just quickly go over the shit this season that y'all shouldn't watch. Eden Zero, don't watch it. It's boring.
Well, hold on. Let's go over that for a second. It's recycled fairy tale. That's all I wanted to say. We can move on.
It's recycled fairy tale with space.
Yeah. And the other show was this show called Jorah Snow Princess.
Jorah the Snow Princess of
I
don't know.
Whatever.
Erwin, it's Grimoire.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Me and Siri watched 2 episodes of it.
We tried. No,
we watched 2 full episodes.
Yeah, I know. No, I meant like we tried with the series. We did.
Yeah, the first episode, horrible. The second episode, I was like, there's a lot more fighting, but the fighting is so bad. It's like, there's no impact. There's no reason for it. There's characters that, I'm gonna spoil it. In the second episode, there's this character, some random lady or whatever. She's like, I have like a thing where I know everything in the entire world that I can remember, and I remember everything like the fucking day I was born. Like, she just knows everything in the universe. She knows everything that the main character wants to know. She knows everything about the agency. She's just a fucking bottle of like information, and it's so convenient that she's in the show.
No, don't get us wrong though. She died.
Yeah, she died.
Second episode, but
it was
I was
so
scared
dumb.
for a solid minute. I'm like, there's no fucking way they have a character this convenient in this world.
Yeah, that just knows everything. This character
like such a cop
had
out.
no flaws at all. She knew every single. The only flaw is that she didn't fight. But who cares? You're a fucking wealth of information that knows everything, dirt on all the politics, everything. And after that, I was like, this show is the biggest waste of 30 minutes.
Now, don't get me wrong. That character didn't progress the story at all, which is disappointing because you feel like if a character like that gets introduced, something should happen with it. But they introduced that character just to kill her. There was literally no point in her existing.
They said, "Hey, look, here's all the info you want," and then murder her.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they did.
The show is so poorly written. I honestly thought it was interesting based off of like the I should have known. You know, we watched the pilot video. The first half of it was just really fucking boring, and then it finally got like semi decent and was semi interesting in the second half of the trailer. And then you watch the show and you realize that 95% of that show is the first half of the trailer, and it sucks because it felt like they could have done something because like the animation it was unique. But
I think what's disappointing about that is a lot of people were hyping it up, like saying, "Oh, this is going to be such a good show," or
oops.
it's just
Sleeper.
sleeper. No, let's talk about a sleeper. Now let's talk about a sleeper. Now that y'all are done shitting on everything, Odd Taxi, watch it. Good.
I was gonna get to Odd Taxi as our finale of the podcast.
No, 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 no.
All right,
No,
all right,
you.
well, all right. We'll talk about it now. Odd Taxi, amazing anime. I, it's great. The storytelling is unique. It's fantastic. Animation, you know, it's nothing new anymore. But I feel like because of the animation, it's definitely going to be slept on. Um, but
Absolutely.
it's great. It's a great show. I've enjoyed every episode so far. I didn't think I would, but it's been genuinely surprising. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys got a lot to say about it too.
I personally like. I love shows like this where it's just like come out of nowhere. No real hype built behind it at all. Probably has a niche community, but it's just a gem. You you care about most, if not all, of the characters, and it's just like everything. All these little pieces are coming together, and it's a cool mystery show. And honestly, it's fun, and the main character of the show is fucking amazing. And it's definitely a show. I don't even want to talk about it because there's like it's hard to talk about it without spoiling anything.
Hmm.
But it's just a good show. Like it's, I already know it's gonna be slept on. Like you don't even gotta like tell me, but it's definitely gonna be slept on, which is a shame. But yeah, no, this show definitely needs a lot more popularity. It's amazing, it really is.
I feel like what the show does really well that a lot of shows don't is the complexity of their characters. Like all these characters have like you could see their flaws and you could see, you know, their good side and all that kind of stuff, especially the main character. You go deep into the main character's psyche. I mean, whenever he's in a taxi with somebody, it's usually like an interview thing, you know, like they're getting to know each other. Not so much about the main character, but you know, you get enough to like really get intrigued about, you know, what this character does. You want to know a lot more about him. And it's the same with a lot of the other characters that surround him. You know, his interactions with people, it's literally a gateway to knowing more about that character. And I think it's a really impressive storytelling route.
Um. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think the best part about it so far is we don't even know shit about the main character. We don't know anything about him yet, really.
Oh yeah.
Like we had one really sus interaction with him when he was in his house, and he just kind of looked into a doorway that was just slightly ajar and black. You couldn't see anything, and he said, "I'm leaving now." Siri said something not too long ago where he thinks that's gonna be like a shrine for his dead family, because he did say I lost my family X amount of time ago, and it would definitely explain why he is the way he is. But at the same time, the dude is constantly lying. We like you can't really take anything he says super seriously. So it's a mystery. That's the first mystery, and then there's other like smaller layers of shit that we're slowly learning and discovering as time goes on. It's a really good show. It's an enjoyable watch.
I think another enjoyable aspect is just like they've built their characters up so much that you could see their characters randomly walking by and you're like, "Oh, hey, it's that guy," you know? It's interesting. It's unique. I mean, we've only watched what, 4 episodes of it?
The three, right? I'm pretty sure it's
Three,
three.
three or four. Either way, I mean, to be so invested in characters so early on is very rare. It's very rare, and I feel like it's a great experience going through it. I would highly recommend it to anybody, literally anybody. It's great. I would easily give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, it's probably one of my favorite shows this season.
Yeah, definitely very weird. Very good though. And then so TJ, did you have a rating too?
For Odd Taxi, 9 out of 10. Very easy 9 out of 10. It's yeah. I've said my piece. The show, it's a good show. Like yeah, go watch it. It's a fun show.
It's
Um,
Pogger.
the last anime on my list that I wanted to talk about was those Snow White Notes. This is
I don't have too much to say about this show. Um, yeah. Me and Siri watched a show called Given, where it was kind of it was a music show,
it was a
right?
yeah it
It
was a
was
yaoi
a
music
yeah
romance
yeah it was a yaoi
drama.
music romance where they focused a lot on the romance on the later episodes,
Hmm.
but the show Given was good. I thought Given was alright. The music, it was fine. I mean, the music performances,
Hmm.
that's something. But yeah, no, here in the show for this season, it's like Given, except without all the yaoi and all the romance or anything like that. It's mainly like focused on our homeboy
Yeah, so
and the music. Yeah.
the anime is based around a the main character, and the main character grows up playing a old style traditional Japanese instrument called the shamisen. Didn't actually think it would ever interest me until until I watched this.
Now he
But
wants to buy one.
the yeah, I totally don't have shopping open right now. Looking at shamisen prices. Um, the show is interesting though because it's one of those musical animes that have captured me through its actual music. There's not a lot of shows that's done that. Your Lie in April did it. Um, but I mean, the music is captivating. The instrument is so well played. They made me. I didn't think I would enjoy this anime in the slightest. It was just recommended to me by a friend that I was talking to, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. I'll listen to it. I'll watch it, and it turned out amazing. I'm very happy that I watched it. I think it's a great show. The music is just phenomenal. Like my God.
Yeah, this is definitely similar to Odd Taxi, where this is gonna get slept on.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
I totally went off on a tangent. I wanted to add one more thing to the description. The main character kind of loses his sound, and he has to, go
Much like
through.
your
Yeah, much like Your Lie in April, and he's trying to find it. He can still play, but it's just it's like a mimicry of his grandfather's playing. He never learned how to play his own sound. So it's going to be an interesting show. I can't wait to watch more of it. Especially since they seem to have like a performance every episode. It's great. It's one of the few anime shows that where music is actually a huge part of the
yeah,
anime.
funny enough, it's a music show with a focus on music.
God forbid we
Usually,
have one of those.
yeah, usually most music shows are really only about like the characters that are playing the music,
Hmm.
but nah, like I don't know. I like a little bit different this time around. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a show that I never finished called Carol on Tuesday, where the
oh, we never finished.
yeah
You should finish that.
nah. I'm fine with dropping it, but
Oh, I'll finish it then. I need to finish it.
I want to finish it too. Okay.
it's just like yeah, a show that focuses on music. That's nice because it makes you have an appreciation for it. Even though that this show, I don't know if I'm gonna be just like casually going on YouTube and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna look up this type of music, but no, it works. It just works.
And don't get us wrong. There's still character development and a pretty decent amount considering. It's just not the primary focus like it is on other music animes.
Right.
Yeah, the music is great. I would highly recommend it. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say 8 out of 10 because it's just a good show to watch, like in the middle of your day if you're just like you want to watch it.
Yeah, now that rating might change depending on what they end up doing because they could definitely go down, the emotional character route.
It do
It's just too early to tell. Right now, all I can say the music is a banger.
it really do go down.
It do. Was there any other animes that we wanted to talk about?
We haven't watched too much of it, even though we really should have. That's probably gonna be something for tomorrow, though. Me and TJ watched that Evie, whatever the
Yeah,
Pacific.
VV
Vivi.
the Fluorite's Idol, I think, or something like that.
I mean, the first episode was pretty good actually. I rather enjoyed it.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, instantly, the second you watch the show, and they go over like the first like 3 minutes of like some crazy Terminator shit, yo, you guys are gonna immediately see it was made by the same people that made Attack on Titan, and you are also gonna immediately see that
Was it?
you miss the old animation of Attack on Titan. Because holy hell, this show, the story is. I like the story. Funny enough, it's another time travel plot. Um,
Lately.
I
We
know,
really should finish Steins Gate.
but my thing is that this time travel plot, I like this one a lot. I think, like, if we're gonna, all right, if we're gonna say like my favorite time travel plot between this and Tokyo Revengers, I gotta say so far, even though I've watched more of Tokyo Revengers, I kind of still like VV's a little bit more because I like the character dynamic. I like how the protagonist has her faults because of what she is. And honestly speaking, it's a definite you should watch this because it's interesting, it's intriguing, and it's made by the people that made Attack on Titan. So go watch it.
What you got to lose?
Yeah,
Exactly.
what you gotta lose?
A few minutes. Go on, go watch it.
Yeah, it's
All
only
the
30 minutes.
travel in this fucking season just makes me want to rewatch all Steins Gate a third time.
Yes, do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I assume that's it then, right?
I don't
I
have anything.
do we have anything else to talk about? I think that's it. Yeah.
Not on
All
my
right.
end.
Well, thank you everybody again for tuning in. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, download. I don't know what platform you guys are listening on because we just shoot them out to as many as we possibly can. But we appreciate it. Every single time we get a listen, we appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Make it sound desperate.